Hey everybody, it's Becky. We're going to dig for keywords showing you how to take an idea and to uncover the smart keywords that you can use for titles, tags, descriptions. And we're going to use, so he doesn't know it, he's in a hot seat. So we're going to use one of our new members inside Make and Sell Printables as a backdrop for us to do this, because not only will it help him, but it will help you as well. So here's a new creator that is sharing these adorable watercolor floral stickers that he's creating inside of the group. And he's wondering whether or not he should share it on Etsy. And number one, they're adorable. Absolutely, you should definitely share these as stickers, clip art, and even possibly like templates behind like journal prompts and stuff. But I want to use this as a backdrop for us to look at, well, how do you take something, a design or an idea, and decide, is this a valid idea? Is this worth me channeling deeper down to find the profitable niche inside? So number one, you know you have an amazing design. You know it, like you can feel it inside of your gut. So how do you take this idea and find the tips and tricks inside? So we're using the basics from the keyword class that I published recently. And what we're going to do first is we're going to look at keywords. Are people looking for floral stickers on the internet? That's the very first thing that we're going to be looking for. So let me go here, and I'm going to go to my favorite keyword tool, and I'm going to log in. And then right here inside of the search for keyword, I'm using what Stuart, like what he used as a backdrop. Are people looking for floral stickers? We'll start right there, just a simple search. And then I'm going to sort the search from the largest down, so I can just get a feel for what is it that people are actually looking for on the internet. So, and then I'm going to write some down, and I'm going to show you how to kind of poke around on Etsy, because that's where he's hoping to actually sell his stickers. So number one, you want to search for what is it that you want to look at your design, and then you want to look for, are people actually looking for this on the internet? And you want to make sure so that you're not spinning your wheels. And then you want to look at your competition inside of whatever platform you're using. So these tips and tricks work specifically in my little corner of the internet if you are putting your designs on Etsy or Teachers Pay Teachers, and you would do the same sorts of things, but we're just going to look at Etsy this morning. So when I look at floral stickers, number one, I see that 25,800 people a month type in that search into Google. Now that's too big of a pool, because especially if you're a new creator, your resources are going to get lost. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look, what are people looking for? What words are they using? How does it change to get down into closer to 1,000? Or if you're smart, you want to get found right away, you want to get way down there, closer to 100. So here we've got floral stickers, 1,600. Now look at the difference. Flower stickers, 25,000 searches a month. Floral stickers, 1,600. So you can see the difference between flower and floral. So I'm going to get a piece of paper out, because we'll do some research in just a second. Let me write this down. So I want to show you in a second the difference between what comes up on Etsy. So flower stickers, we're going to do floral. Let's see what else is here. Aesthetic flower stickers. So look at the difference between adding the word aesthetic next to flower stickers. It brought that 25,000 searches down to 1,500. So that's an interesting word to play with. So we'll look at that in a second. Aesthetic. You want to look when you're doing your keyword research to how are people spelling or misspelling things. So you do want to take note as you're doing that. I love this tool because it's easy to sort and use. On the right-hand side, I'm a color and visual person. So the higher competition words are the darker colors. They're like orange and yellow. What you're really looking for is green. So as I'm going to do a quick scroll down here and see if there are any green. Actually, let me sort it right here. See if there are any green. So there's one. Ooh, watercolor flower stickers. Stuart, that's your keyword right there. Because look at this, 150 people a month are searching for watercolor flower stickers. So I'm not going to do like a full keyword research because that's actually like, it takes a long time to go through back and forth. But this is an excellent starting point, because if you are creating something and you have, do you want to compete with 25,000 people or do you want to compete with 150 people? Obviously, you're going to want to compete with that 150 pool. So now I'm going to take these keywords and we're going to jump over to Etsy. I'm just writing down some numbers so that my brain doesn't have to remember. So let's look at Etsy. And these are exactly the things that we go over inside the keyword class. And of course, I didn't pull up the page properly. So let's do this, Etsy. So right up here in the search bar, let's put in that flower sticker, and we're going to hit enter. I'm going to show you right over here, 201,000 results inside of Etsy. So you've got 25,000 people a month looking for flower stickers. And now you're in a pool of over 200,000. Can you see that how as a new creator, you'd be lost, right? The chances of your beautiful sticker being found are slim to none because the competition is too big and too many people are searching for that general term. So instead, let's see what happens. And I haven't done any of this research in advance, so I'm doing it live just because I thought it would be fun to look at it live. Let's look at what happens when you do floral stickers. And I want you to notice inside of Etsy, when you start to type in, see how you've got floral sticker pack, floral sticker sheet, floral stickers weddings, etc. These are actual search items that people are looking for. And you'd want to go back and forth as you're doing your keyword research between what you're finding on Etsy and what people are actually searching for out on the internet. Super important that you do this research and that you understand that this process needs to be done in a different mindset, a different mode than when you're actually creating. So I call this an unfun thing, even though I love this process. It's super intriguing, I find it incredibly rewarding to find a sweet spot keyword. So let's see what happens when we do floral stickers. So the other one was 100 or over 200,000. It did bring it down. 175,000 people are looking for floral sticker. Let's see what happens if we just add that S on the end. Still 175,000. Let's change this to watercolor flower stickers. Remember, it's a sweet spot on Google. I have no idea if it's a sweet spot here on Etsy. Watercolor flower stickers. And let's see what that does to the sort. Look at that. It dropped it down to 19,169 things on Etsy that you'd be competing with. Now, can you see how playing with the keywords actually, now everybody's making these gorgeous stickers, right? And you would think that this market is saturated, but it's not saturated per se. What you need to do is to pair your amazing creation with what people are searching for and then find that niche inside of your platform so that when you post your item, it comes to the top. And because when you want when people type in your title, you want your resource to land on the first page, ideally first, but that takes some finesse. So watercolor stickers, watercolor flower stickers. Let's see if I take this away. See if as I start to type in, if anything drops down. So watercolor, floral. What if we do floral stickers? People like that. Dropped it down a little bit more. And so here's where the game begins. Here's where you need to take your time. So you either need to learn about keywords, and that's why I created that class, because this is one of those things that takes time to understand this process. And it's not always fun. And it's not always fruitful the first time that you do this. I just worked with a client recently, and we totally went back and forth and found some sweet spot keywords, and her product is still not landing on the first page of Etsy. So sometimes you do your best guess, and then you have to go back and then you have to tweak it again. You have to play with the titles and the tags again. One of the things that you can do in your research is, so here we've got watercolor floral stickers. You can search down and you can see if any of them are being flagged as popular or best sellers on Etsy. So I'm just scrolling here for a second to see if I can see any. Now, you're never stealing people's work. Here we go. Popular right now: flower sticker, mini flower sticker, set of 12. So what if we add mini flower sticker? What if we just add that word mini? First, we're going to look, since we're here, we'll look on Etsy. So we'll go mini flower sticker and see what that does. Look at that, 6,313. So on Etsy, you have the ability to combine titles, and that's still too big of a pool. Ideally, what you're looking for is relevance. So when you type in this mini flower sticker, you want the results that pop up to be the same thing that you're creating. Not exactly the same, but if you type this in and you see coffee cups, it's not going to be a match with your end buyer. So you want to make sure that your keyword terms are relevant. And then number two, you want to make sure that your competition pool is as low as possible and still relevant. If you can find a sweet spot where people are actually looking for something on Google, and then you can put yourself in a pool where the competition is really low and you use the right keywords, your thing pops up right on the first page. And again, sometimes it's going back and forth. So I'm not going to go much deeper than this on Etsy because, again, this takes finesse and takes time. But let's take that mini flower sticker where we got it down to 6,300 results on Etsy. And let's see if anybody's looking for mini flower stickers on Google. So let me go back, just hitting the back arrow so that my screen, the program I'm using doesn't like to go back and forth with the tabs. Okay, so here we go. Still logged in. Mini flower sticker. If anybody's looking for that, are they using that tag mini? So see, they're not using that word mini, but they are using the word small. So let's now I'm curious. This is why I get addicted to this. Mini flower stickers. Ooh, 70. So that's not a lot. The reason, so when you're working with a really small number, like mini flower stickers, and only 70 people are looking for it a month on Google, what you end up finding is that's an incredibly small niche. However, if you have exactly what they're looking for and you put yourself in the competition pool that has very low competition and your product is amazing, it means you're going to get the sale. It means that you're going to get the higher percentage of the sales. So it's something to play with when you are finding your sweet spot with your customers. I do want to go back to Etsy one more time and see if small flower, see if that word small flower makes a difference. And I want you to take note of what's happening here. So as I'm going back and forth with this keyword research, I'm not only looking at what people are looking for, but I'm collecting tags for Etsy. Because once I write my title, I can add these other words in the tags, which will help pull people together. So watercolor, floral, aesthetic, mini, small, sticker, sheets, packs. Does that make sense? So it's super powerful to fine tune your niche. And you can do this with anything. You can do this with gift tags, business cards, journals, anything. educational activities, templates for social media. You can do this for substitute teacher lesson packs. You can do it for blog post templates. You go back and forth and you whittle down and you find that, I call it a sweet spot. It's a sweet spot because enough people are looking and the competition is low. And so now you give yourself the best chance of making sales. And at the end of the day, we're not sitting here in the dark or in the middle of the night creating things just to entertain ourselves. Although it's fun, I love this stuff. So I do it whether or not they sell or not. I'm addicted to making printables and things. But we also want to at least have some validation for what it is that we're doing. So let's go back to Etsy one more time. Let me just do Etsy, etsy.com. Let's do it that way. Excuse me. And again, we're going to go right up into the search bar and we're going to put small flower. Looking at the drop down. So see, I don't see sticker yet. So sticker. Okay, stickers, small flower stickers. Let's put that S on there. 8,500, so it went up. So playing with this back and forth, I am confident that if we just play with these words, so if we add in watercolor flower stickers, $1,479. We're almost there. That's a really good. So small watercolor. Stuart, if you're watching, these are the titles that you would use. These are the types of things that you would use to put these stickers for sale on Etsy. So small, let's go ahead and replace that word small with tiny. So many. Ooh, cha-ching, just made money on something. Okay, tiny watercolor, 1,079. We're getting there. So tiny watercolor flower stickers. I'd use the word tiny as a tag. That's not the word I wanted to put in. So we want mini watercolor flower stickers, and we're at 1,900. So you can see this back and forth process. It takes your idea and whittles it down so that you can actually find your place. People ask this question all the time. Is the market saturated? Yeah, it's absolutely saturated if you choose those generic terms like printable bullet journal. 150 trillion people are looking for that keyword. And so instead you have to think like your buyer, like who is this person? What are they thinking when they are searching for something to fit the bill? And once you start to do that, once you start to see that, you're able to go back and forth and fine tune your words so that you can deliver your product right to the right person. Now, the more you create, when you've got 10 things, 20 things, 100 things, hundreds of things, thousands of things, in the digital world, there's no limit, right? It's just the limits of your own imagination. And you're able to pump out these creations according to your whim and your mood. But you can get smart. Okay. And I suggest that once you have your first 10 or 20 printables up, like go through the process chasing your heart. Do the things that you're enjoying. But if you want to do this smartly, you do this keyword research first. And then you create your products, because now you know that people are looking for what you're making. And that makes all the difference in the world at the end of the day. So I hope that makes sense. If this is something that you are interested in leaning into, I would highly recommend that you grab that keyword class, because it takes time for you to understand how all this works. There are other keyword tools out there. I happen to like the one that I showed you, and that is an affiliate link. That means that if you purchase it, that pennies will get tossed back at me, which helps fund my whole printable coaching type thing too. But there are other tools out there. I like that one because I like easy and I like clear when I'm looking. So I'm able to sort by searches per month. I'm able to sort by color. That green means it's a low competition keyword. And it gives me ideas then for other keyword things, social media titles, blog posts, etc. So know that. And then know that Etsy, if you're selling on Etsy, Etsy has an incredible search engine, and they do a really great job of helping you sort to help find the things that you're looking for. Teachers Pay Teachers is another site where you can sell your digital products, things that teachers or parents or homeschoolers or educators would be looking for in their classroom. And that's where I got my start. And I make plenty of money out there on Teachers Pay Teachers, but their search engine is not as awesome as Etsy's is. I love Etsy's. It's just it's put together better, but it does work the same way. You find what people are looking for out on Google, and then you use the internal search engine to filter things down. So that's it. Go do your research, find your keywords, grab the class so that you can become a master of keywords. Yes, you can hire people to do stuff like this for you, but it's one of those things that you do want to invest into your own creative journey so that you can be in control of the results that are going to be happening at the other end of the rainbow. So anyway, have a wonderful day. Stuart, great job, and I will see you guys soon.